students, in this video I am going to explain about primary and secondary memory. First of all, what is meant by memory? Actually, it is similar to our human brain. Generally, now we can remember what is the date of birth of ours or otherwise our family members, which school we have studied, and then intermediate, college, everything we can remember because our brain is storing all the datas. In that way, for computer, memory is important. It will store all the instructions which are going to be processed or already saved data, everything it will store. So for that only computer needs memory. So the computer memory is actually divided into small cells like this, okay, and each cell will have the unique address also. For example, in the that means the streets of the city, we will have the houses, right? So each house have its own address. In that way, the cells also having the unique address. So by using that only, we can identify where the information is stored. Next, what are the types of computer memory? Actually, we have two types. One is primary memory and then secondary memory. Let us discuss in detail about these two memories. First one is primary memory. Actually, the primary memory is also known as internal memory. It has different names, but process is same. Internal memory or otherwise main memory or temporary memory. Why it is called a temporary memory means it will store the information temporarily. Okay, it cannot store permanently. It will use only for temporary. Okay, and the data and instructions will be presently working on the system or by the if suppose the CPU is taking that instruction means it will save that. Once the process is over, it will not store it. Okay, that's what it is called the temporary memory. And moreover, it is also called volatile memory. This is new term for you. What is volatile? Volatile in the sense once the power is switched off, immediately the information will be lost. Okay, the data will be lost. So that is what it is called volatile. So it is totally depends upon the power, right? Next, what are the types of primary memory? Primary memory are of two types. One is RAM, that is RAM. RAM stands for random access memory, and another one is ROM. ROM represents read only memory. Random access memory further classified into two types, SRAM and DRAM. S for static RAM and D for dynamic RAM. And ROM also three types we have. One is PROM, EPROM and then WEPROM. P for programmable and EP for erasable programmable, and W means electrically erasable programmable ROM. Okay, so let us discuss one by one in detail. So primary memory is of RAM and ROM. First we are going to discuss about RAM. RAM means random access memory. Actually, it is a read and write memory. Okay, so already whatever the discussions we have done for the primary memory, that will suits for RAM. Okay, so it is the main memory and then temporary memory, and the information will be lost when the power is switched off. So this whatever the discussions we have done for the primary memory, everything will be suits for the RAM. So RAM is of two types. What is that? SRAM, that is a static RAM, and a dynamic RAM. What is the difference between them? Actually, the information will be stored as long as the power is switched on. Okay, and then it is this SRAM is of high cost and consume more power, but its speed will be very much higher comparatively with the dynamic. Okay, and the dynamic RAM in the sense it stores information very short time only. That means as long as power is switched on, up to that the information will be stored here. But in dynamic RAM, within only for a short time the information will be stored, only milliseconds. Though the power is switched on also, though only for few milliseconds it will store the information. Later on the information will be lost, and it is cheaper and a moderate speed only, not like SRAM, and it consumes less power. So this is the difference between static RAM and dynamic RAM. Next we are going to discuss about ROM, read only memory. It is a permanent type of memory. First RAM is the temporary memory I said, but it is the permanent memory. Though the power is switched off also, the information will not be lost. It will be stored in the computer memory. Okay, so when the content of the ROM will be inserted during the manufacturing only. Okay, so during the manufacturing only, it kept inside the computer. It acts as the permanent memory. It stores all the data, right? And it cannot be overwritten. That is very important. It is read only. Okay, we can read it, but we cannot overwrite. And it is also known as non-volatile memory. So what is the meaning of non-volatile? If the power is switched off also, the information will not be lost. That's what it is called, non-volatile memory. Next we are going to discuss about the types of ROM memory. ROM memory are of three types, I said. First one is programmable read only memory. So what is the meaning of that? We can write the data once and we can read it many times. Only once we have to write the data, but afterwards we can read it many times. Okay, so once the chip is programmed, means the recorded information, later we cannot change it, and it also belongs to non-volatile memory only. And the next one is EPROM. What is the EPROM? Erasable programmable. From the name itself we can understand clearly. It can be erased and again we can overwrite it. That's what it is called, erasable programmable. So the information can be erased and then we can write it. Okay. Next one is EEPROM, electrically erasable programmable read-only memory. It is the little bit advanced of the first two cases. Actually, the program can be erased within a millisecond. The whole entire content of the device can be erased within a millisecond by using the electrical waves. That's what it is called, electrically erasable programmable. So these are the types of the read-only memory. Okay. So now we are going to discuss about characteristics of primary memory. So all the informations already we have discussed, just have a look on that. So it is the volatile memory. If the power is switched off, the information will be lost, and it is faster than the secondary memory. Main function is, that is very important, without primary memory the computer system will not function. That is what very important. Okay, users can lose data when there are power, already we discussed. So power is switched off, the information will be lost, and it is the working memory of the computer. If the computer has to function, means definitely primary memory should be there, and it is made up of semiconductors. Okay, these are the semiconducting materials. The primary memory devices are made up of the semiconducting materials. So now we are going to discuss about secondary memory. Actually, instead of calling memory, generally they call it as secondary storage device. Externally, we are going to use this device for storing some information. That's what external memory of the computer. It is a supporting device. That's what it is called, auxiliary memory, but it is permanent. In that previous case, it is what that means. Primary memory means it is only temporarily stored, but this is for permanent usage. Okay, so it can store the information permanently, and we can store different programs, different information, everything we can store it permanently, and it is called a non-volatile. Though the power is switched off also, the information will not be lost, it will be stored permanently. Next, these are the types of the secondary memory. Here they have given fixed devices, removable devices. Some devices are fixed to the system and some are removable. So as you know well, this, that is a hard disk drive. It will be inside the computer, and the CD and DVD drive will be there. We can change the CD and DVD, right? And the next, removable devices means pen drive. We can insert, use the information, we can write, we can read everything and change the information. Again we can remove it, and like that also Blu-ray disc. So these are the types of this secondary memory. So secondary storage devices are floppy disk, that is hard disk, magnetic tapes, pen drive, CD, DVD, etc. Next we have to discuss about characteristics of secondary memory. So secondary memory means it is a non-volatile memory and it is slower than primary memory. Okay, that is very important. And then it is also known as backup memory. It stores all the informations whichever is required. So without any power issues, we can store all the informations. It cannot be changed. Okay, and next that means primary memory is not there, means computer cannot function, but without secondary memory the computers will perform, it can run. So there is no issue with the secondary memory. There is no mandatory, definitely we should have the secondary memory for the function of the computer. Okay, and next, these are all the optical and magnetic memories. Previous case we discussed about the semiconductor, but here we are going to use the magnetic and optical materials to store the information. That's all about primary and secondary memory of the computer. Please go through that. If you have any doubt, you can ask me in the comment section.